Alright. Welcome to another video. So, I was on my YouTube page. Not my page, sorry, my subscription page. No, not my subscription page, because I'm not subscribed, as you can see. I was on my home page, and because from time to time I do watch material that comes from people such as 78sportstv, some of their videos do get recommended, or even sometimes just a post. On this occasion, what happened was it was a post in his community section, and this was a post right here, intriguing one, to be honest with you. Alright, it says 8 years ago I created the mighty LDBC. The mighty LDBC. Every year since, it has been the most talked about thing in boxing. There is nothing you haters can create today that will be talked about next month, let alone 8 years later. To my family, I am the general, but to my haters, I am your father. In my Darth Vader voice. And of course he uses a gif, you know what I mean, of Dave Chappelle. Now, you know what, first things first, I want to congratulate 78 Sports TV for whatever he supposedly created lasting this long. 8 years. 8 years on social media. Must be some kind of achievement, I suppose. 8 years of a group of people who supposedly gather together, I suppose in the mornings or whatever time it is, just to tune in to one guy give his opinion that doesn't necessarily have any great consequence at all whatsoever, and other people listening in just because, you know, we might be bored from time to time. I suppose that's a great achievement. However, here's the thing. This is what really lets 78 Sports TV down when he makes this announcement. And let me reiterate that I do congratulate him if he feels that this is some kind of great accomplishment. That the LDBC is some kind of great accomplishment. Because, you know, we cannot necessarily put the value of a thing like this, or what it means to people who don't necessarily value it. We can't tell somebody like 78 Sports TV that, you know, the LDBC is valueless, because what he attaches value to might not necessarily be what I attach value to in life. Because when you think about it, right, here's the thing. Before I actually engage in any form of critique, let me look at the positive. The positive is this, is that the LDBC has, in fact, compared to other little minions or other little copycats and people who might have wanted to rival this organization, can still be identified as a group of people that represent a particular persuasion or demographic or point of view. And that's about it. What it does do, I must say, and I don't want it to sound like a negative as such, but in all honesty, what it does do is give somebody a target that they can aim at if they don't like niggas. You know what I'm saying? And to a certain degree, it validates. It tends to want to validate the ignorance and the complexity. Let's not call it inconsistency as such, or the hypocrisy, but the complexity of the hard done by black man in the United States of America. Now, I would probably say that for me a lot of it is hypocrisy, but at the end of the day, it would be wrong for me to say that without actually looking at what brought that about, to what sort of elicits that type of behavior in some form. But I think that what the LDBC does, okay, is what LDBC has managed to do, for the most part, is highlight how ignorance and the age of amateurism on social media is allowed to fester and be repackaged as something original and genuine, and it's bullshit. And nobody represents that more for me than the LDBC mascot at the moment, being Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and maybe to a certain degree Errol Spence, who I happen to like a bit, but let's keep it real. He was just very, very basic, a very strong basic fighter. But and nothing, you see, here's the thing, 78sportstv loves the shit. He loves the bullshit. Because when you put a message out and you want to congratulate yourself and probably congratulate the LDBC itself, you make it about, you see, this the narcissism can be excused, because this is, I created the mighty LDBC 8 years ago. I created the LDBC. Now you could have said 8 years ago the mighty LDBC was created by me with the help of others or whatever. But you know, if you don't necessarily accomplish much in your life, and this is one of your greatest accomplishments on social media, on fucking YouTube, that's the way you're gonna put it. Alright? And that can be excused. Fair enough. Sometimes they say modesty is overrated. You know what I'm saying? Modesty is somewhat overrated. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like Donald Trump nowadays and make it all about yourself, which is, you know, fine. And he says every year since it's been the most talked about thing in boxing. Are you certain? The most talked about thing only on certain occasions. Only on certain occasions. But you see, here's the thing. What is the most talked about thing that the LDBC engages in? Poor me, woe is me. And that's what they engage you on, not necessarily the personalities that represent the LDBC. I suppose in your case, because you're funny, you know what I'm saying, and from time to time you do make a bit of sense, then fair enough, and you give people material. If we're making videos on here as a hobby, you know what I'm saying, you tend, when you're searching for material, you tend to provide material from time to time that people can use. And you know, it's a good thing. I have nothing against it. I'm not gonna say like there's a problem. It doesn't constitute a problem for me. I think some people, you know, I heard a video recently, somebody pointed out to me and said like, did I watch the video by CJ Goodfella in which he blasted Black Fight Fan and 78sportstv, and I had listened to it before I saw the message. I had listened to it by chance. I think I caught it on social media, on Twitter. Then I listened to it, and I gotta be honest, I wasn't impressed. I think that when somebody said like 78 actually feels like there's a great deal of jealousy out there, you get a sense that somebody like CJ Goodfella is absolutely, the way he came across in that video, the way he talked about 78, the way he talked about Black Fight Fan, the way he went about it, you could see that it was just reeking of jealousy, reeking of envy, reeking of I don't know what else to put it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, he told me more about CJ Goodfella than anything he could tell us about 78sportstv or the LDBC or Black Fight Fan, to keep it a buck with you. Not to talk of the fact that he doesn't look impressive himself. You know what I'm saying? It seems like the older he gets, the more his face gets squashed together. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want to listen to a guy like that, and his circumstances haven't really changed, have it? It's just the same old, it's just sitting in the same old spot as if he's rotting away. But you know, that's just how I see it. Some people might see it differently, because if for some people, let's keep it a buck, not all criticism of 78sportstv and the LDBC is legitimate. I think some people, because they have other reasons, they have other motives, ulterior motives, and you know, it goes way beyond 78 Sports TV, but they see 78 Sports TV as being the face of representing something a little bit outspoken about black culture in America. And I don't think he actually represents it as, you know, as much as people on social media. Yeah, a guy from Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's gangbanging in fucking LA or he's a cripple. He's not like he did time in fucking Sing Sing or fucking Rikers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not, you know, he's not like part of the dirty side of fucking social media with 050, the movement, and Hassan Campbell and all those type of dirty niggas over there. You know what I'm saying? He's not like that. I think he's actually an okay guy. I think a lot of it is just a social media persona. You know what I mean? I was pissed off with him once because of what he said, not necessarily because I dislike him as such. You know what I'm saying? It's because of what he said and the way he went about it. And for me, it reeked of an insecurity that I did not like. And I feel that he has a habit of you know, I mean, this is something that a lot of people used to engage in, of twisting the truth to create a new narrative in order to justify his position. And I don't like people who do that. That was very commonplace. That was very, very commonplace. It was a very common debating strategy from the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they discovered a new method and all of them applied it. And the moment he started doing it, I sensed it immediately. But I you know, the other stuff that they say about him, I said some stuff to him and he was justified in defending himself, don't get me wrong now. But I gotta be honest, he likes the bullshit because let's keep it real. If you want to be positive about what you've done 8 years ago, you wouldn't make it about your haters. You haters can create today, will be talked about. What do you think people really want? Other people talking about them incessantly, perennially, negatively all the time? Or when people always come up to you, they call you general and this. Hey, listen, you make yourself a target. If you going around thinking that you're some kind of general on social media, now I don't know what to tell you, man. Because after 8 years, let's really put it in concrete terms. What has the LDBC created? What has it done? Apart from the fact that, yeah, he provided support for Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, a fucking fickle human being to say the least. I would call him degenerate, to be honest with you. But, you know, let's look at some of the messages that were written back to LDBC. He says, "Suck my fat one." Really? Oh, there's more? Okay, black jelly bean nasty. Who gives a fuck? Black jelly beans aren't nasty. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, I want to look at the messages. So here we click on the messages here. And then we're going to get the messages. So here we are. Let's see the messages that were sent back to the general. So this gentleman says, "Salute my brother. The LDBC is necessary to combat the weak, the jealous, the treasonous, the treacherous. The treasonous, I don't know why people say treasonous, but treacherous. I'm here for the long haul. Good for you." You know what I mean? Here we go. See, TY Boxing 02. "Very happy to be part of the LDBC. This is more than just a community, it's a family. You guys keep kidding yourself with that shit. You know what I mean? I appreciate all that you have done, General, and thank you for creating a dynasty with the mighty LDBC." A dynasty. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about what? The Golden State Warriors now? Anyway, having something like this with black people is difficult, and 78, you don't get enough credit for keeping this thing going. I think he gets more than enough credit. He has a lot of critics out there, of course. I'm one of them. He gets more than enough credit. What the fuck? What else do you want to give the dude? What has he done? He's never even been to a fight since he created this thing. We've never seen him at a fight. All he's done is take information from other people, use that information, make videos about it, and then claim that somehow some people are jealous of what he does because of the way he relays secondhand information a lot of the time, or claim that he has some source that could be right, could be wrong, but it's very hard to confirm or deny. You'll have some source like, yeah, well, here's the thing. What Regis doesn't know is that when Eddie Hearn wants to start a fight, Eddie Hearn doesn't know that Al Heyman and all the other promoters, they get together to shut that shit down. He's proud of that. Let's say that what he said there is true. The only reason why he feels that it is worthy of being a virtue is because Al Heyman is black, and Al Heyman has his power supposedly over Eddie Hearn in America. Alright, the same old America that is supposedly bad and treats other people, certain people, wrong. Let's say that's true, but let's even look at it from a different perspective. That means that if Al Heyman is doing that means he wouldn't have just done it to Eddie Hearn. In fact, habitually, that's what he's always done. That's what he did. That has, to a certain degree, contributed to the problems that Adrian Broner has right now. By shutting Adrian Broner down from taking a $40 million deal, all right, with Rock Nation back then. So it's not just, and he did the same thing with Rock Nation all over the place. So it's not just Eddie Hearn. It's not just Eddie Hearn. That's what Al Heyman's always been doing. And we can talk about top rank and all that. I think that Al Heyman especially wanted to monopolize the market, and he failed. And you can see it as a virtue simply because you do not like Eddie Hearn. But when you widen the scope a bit, if you see the woods for the trees, you understand that what you're talking about there, this is the reason why you cannot rate what he says as being intellectually sound. Because a lot of the stuff he comes from an emotional perspective, an emotional point of view, while he denies that he's been emotional. He's very emotional about Deontay Wilder. That's why he cannot face the truth about Deontay Wilder. And I'd like to, like I said before, I don't want to talk about hypocrisy, but when you have no problem with Deontay Wilder twerking, when you have no problem with Deontay Wilder wearing sort of dressy, effeminate clothing, when you have no problem with Deontay Wilder wearing nose rings, when you have no problem with Deontay Wilder getting weave and all this shit, alright, that's fine. You have no problem with that. But don't then use an image of Anthony Joshua, probably out of character, probably looking a bit saucy, you know what I'm saying? But a still image, you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, he's not twerking. You take all these images of probably Ryan Garcia, Anthony Joshua, and Tank Davis, and you call them sweet. And I'm thinking, like, Jesus Christ, you pointing the finger where you got fucking free pointing back at you? Why you sucking off fucking Deontay Wilder and go see the dude dressed like a fucking child? You don't look like no general when you're standing next to that dude. You look like a fucking fanboy, a boy, in the true sense of a white man calling a black man boy. That's all I'm saying. But congratulations to the LDBC for its 8-year anniversary. We got to reiterate that as we go through this. And it says, proud to be part of something great, something so great, forgive me. To all who hate what 78 created for no reason, up yours, I suppose, yep. What's this one say? Forgive me. It says, all facts. Wow, such deep words of knowledge there. And we're still supporting heavy. Good for you. And what's this one say? It says, I thought I knew boxing, but when I started watching the general and everybody in the LDBC, I realized I had a lot to learn. what can we say? This is a miseducation of Fred Crenshaw. If you got your education from here, because they're not primarily about boxing, they're primarily about the black politics of boxing. That's what they're about, and in contemporary terms, not necessarily from a historical perspective. You know what I'm saying? And it's all based upon perception, assumptions, perceptions, and nothing necessarily concrete. I suppose we all engage in that, and opinion. All right. So if you got your education from the LDBC, you're lost already, bro. You know what I mean? You're lost already. Alright, I suppose they got you woke, huh? This one says, they need to send you a gift basket around holiday time. Thank you, all Merciful 78. That's what they need to send 78, yeah? For blessing us with content to create and ways to barely be able to feed our families, sir. You see, this actually reveals a lot. It reveals to you the motherfucker that depends on social media to feed his family. I mean, why would anybody even... You see, this is what social media has created, right? The lazy nigga who feels that this is I mean, yeah, listen. There are people out there who have made money from podcasts and stuff. I was listening to something from Nori the other day. No, this morning. And Nori was talking about the corruption. Can I call it that? I don't want to call it unfairness, but the corruption, the damnation, as a matter of fact, the damnation you engage in when you sign a contract to get out of the hood, making records. That they can make you sign a contract 3 lifetimes over that you can't get out of, and you will never get royalties for that. And he claims that podcasting, he said the first thing he did was engage in reggaeton, and he couldn't even speak the language. You know, Nori's funny. And then he said that he got in films, and he didn't necessarily have to study films because people loved him, so all he had to do was be Nori. And then he said that podcasting is another way of getting away from, is a new thing that allows these people. And I'm thinking to myself, so it's a new thing, let me finish my thought. A new thing that sort of allows people to grow and free themselves from the shackles of the industry, which is not true. Because if somebody's paying you 100 million, okay, or 20 million or whatever, they're still going to need to get something back in return. All right, I think Cameron and them, they've signed a 30 million deal. And this is on the back of, and you got to think, black people, these black guys especially. So this is their new gig, a bit like ringtones and stuff like that. But there's only going to be so many of you guys talking that shit. Whether it's a Joe Budden, whether it's a Cameron, whether it's a Nori, who else is there now? I don't even listen to them because I don't even listen to fucking Joe Rogan. You understand me? A lot of them are fucking boring. They're gonna oversaturate that market and gonna fucking kill it off. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is that we're in an age where you don't have to create nothing really. Like the LDBC didn't create anything, even within the little scope, the very small scope of what they could have created in terms of a concrete place that had foundation. The one thing they've done in 8 years is have one meet and greet in 8 years, and I just checked, right? It's been over a year, and they haven't had another. It's not like they had another on the anniversary of that meet and greet. It's been over a year, and they haven't had another. And there were many people who might even claim that they were foundational members of that LDBC group who couldn't even make it there because they're all poor. They're poor, broken, lonely. One guy, another guy was making fun of him, saying that he spent his money, the money for his rent or his mortgage or whatever the fuck it was, to go hang out with the LDBC in Texas, and he's regretting it. I'm not even sure. Did funny thing is, right, during that LDBC thing, I don't think I actually saw Black Fight Fan there as such. I saw 78, and Black Fight Fan closed down his channel, said he doesn't want to talk about boxing anymore, which is kind of weird because he closed down his channel prior to the fight, between Crawford and Spence, as if he knew what was coming. Not like he closed that. He said he was going to stop talking about boxing. Probably about a month before the fight happened, or probably 2 months before the fight happened. They stopped doing their chill thing, which was, I gotta be honest, a bit interesting from time to time. There were times that I watched the whole thing. You know what I mean? I think it was a better product than 78 by himself. I think it was a better product than 78 by himself. So, you know, and everything else they tried, which was Smoke City Mob or whatever the fuck, and you know, the childish shit. And that's about it. But let's just read some more comments, and let me reiterate, congratulations to the LDBC on its 8-year anniversary. So this is not just about hate. This is not just about, it's not even about hate. This is a critique. It's not hate at all. You understand me? And as you all know, sometimes when he says something funny, I'm gonna sample that shit, you know what I mean, and use it, because sometimes it can be funny. The recent ad-lib, the recent, could I call it ad-lib? Yeah, let me call it ad-lib, yeah. Soundbite, yeah. That I took from him is when he was responding to some dude who decided, I saw the video of the guy criticizing his point of view on Inui, and it was just like, oh God, here we go again. And the guy is just such a fucking I don't even know what to call him. It's just fucking annoying, you know what I'm saying? With these old, ridiculously worn out arguments. You don't know about him because you don't follow Japanese boxing. Ain't nobody give a shit, to be honest with you. And I think he conveyed that message perfectly. So he does things like that from time to time that I fucking like. I wouldn't say I respect it, but I do like it. You know what I'm saying? So he does things like that from time to time. And if he does something like that, I'm gonna use it because I'm not a hater. Don't fucking hate him. I'm not gonna make a video like CJ fucking Goodfella. And God, that really reeked of jealousy and envy and everything else, man. Anyway, he says, salute to OG, great content through the years, maximum respect. Yes indeed, brother 78. I've been down, I guess he wants to say. I've been down with you since 2012. That's a long time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I rarely get to catch you live, so I don't comment much, but much respect to you and the whole LDBC family. Damn right, 78 salutes. LDBC is the glue that's holding boxing together. Jesus, guys, hyperbole or what? The LDBC doesn't exist tomorrow. I think the only thing that we would miss is the opportunity to fucking talk shit about him. You know what I'm saying? Because they're guaranteed to give you some ignorant fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not even as bad as it used to be. Let's keep it real. The LDBC, in terms of even in the YTVC, is not really a force to really want to take seriously anymore. Did we even take them seriously then? But let's say we took them seriously back then. During the days of Deontay Wilder, when Deontay Wilder hadn't been beaten, hadn't got exposed, when they were able to sell that narrative beautifully, make it, and they needed that acrimony, like, that's the enemy, this is us, we are the ones who are on God's side, those are the ones who are on the plantation, we are the runaway slaves, those are the plantation house niggas over there. So they needed that divide. It wasn't created by white people. They loved it themselves. They needed it, and they used it to, till this day, make Deontay Wilder seem like some kind of fucking hero that spoke for their purpose and cause. So, but that's kind of, since Deontay Wilder got his fucking ass beat, it hasn't been the same. I mean, you couldn't create that kind of situation with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because even though a lot of them were kind of sheeple and wanted to back Errol Spence, it just wasn't the same thing, because Terence Crawford is a black American, And he had skill. It is what it is. And if you're being honest, the only reason, in all honesty, it wasn't like Anthony Joshua. It was just a bit different. He was more like, oh yeah, I want to fuck with him because he's a real nigga type of shit. It wasn't, it just wasn't the same. So when Errol Spence gets beaten, what we got next? And nobody really believes Devin Haney. Devin Haney, even I'm not a believer, to be honest with you. I wanted to believe, but I'm thinking that I'm being convinced of a lie again. I'm beginning to feel the same way I felt about Deontay Wilder back then. You understand me? I'm riding with Deontay Wilder until eventually I face the truth. Like, you know what, man? I'm not really comfortable with this shit. I'm not comfortable. This guy isn't as good as I'm trying to make him out to be. If he was, I wanted to believe he was that good, but he's not. He's not. If he was that good, he shouldn't have been that close with Lomachenko. And I gotta be honest, sometimes I feel that Lomachenko, I honestly believe that Lomachenko might have won that fight. But because I don't like Lomachenko, I'll be honest with you, straight up biased, I wanted him to lose because I feel that the fallout would have been catastrophic for people in the LDBC and people who look like me. That's the only, from a political point of view, I'm glad that Devin Haney won. But I'm not comfortable, like in a perfect world, to suggest or say that he did win. I think he lost. I think he lost the fight. And I think we're overcompensating for a guy who's not that good. You know what I mean? I think we're overcompensating for a guy who they wanted us to believe was going to be the next Floyd, and he's not. I think he's got a long way to go, and he's not even going to get that much better, to keep it real with you. Moving on. So shout out to the mighty LDBC, living rent free in the minds of haters for 8 years. Between hating on the LDBC and watching Floyd versus Pacquiao in slow motion and counting the punches for the 1,000th time, I don't see how these guys even have lives or jobs. The question is, 1 second. Let me. Hello. That was nobody. Alright, so salute to the mighty LDBC. Yeah, let me finish with this. Alright, a lot of them got stars. It's a shout out to the mighty LDBC, living rent free, blah blah blah. Listen, a lot of LDBC people, right, weren't even big fans. Listen, you see the way I feel about Devin Haney? Yeah, Devin Haney beating Lomachenko. That's the way a lot. Actually, that's perfect. So before you all get carried away with the Floyd versus Pacquiao thing, a lot of them, including 78, don't really like Floyd like that. It's just that when it became a Floyd versus Pacquiao, then of course they back Floyd. Alright, they were never big fans of Floyd. They didn't like Floyd. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like Floyd for a variety of black reasons, and Floyd, I can understand. Floyd's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying, but they wouldn't really have had big qualms with Floyd losing. They wouldn't have a lot of qualms with Floyd losing. They were never really big fans of fucking Floyd like that. So don't make it out like people who don't like the LDBC, the same people as the people who didn't like Floyd, who were watching slow motion of Pacquiao and Pacquiao beat Floyd and shit like that. You know what I mean? You're mixing things up together there, because a lot of people who became members of the LDBC at the very beginning didn't like Floyd. Some of them were even big Pacquiao fans, to keep it real with you. So fuck out of here with that shit. I mean, a salute to the mighty whatever the fuck. Anyway, 78 got me into boxing. Jesus Christ, poor you. Forever grateful. Haters don't know 78's a solid dude because they haven't been listening as long as most of us. Oh, I can assure you we have. We know 78 very, very well. We know 78 when 78 was actually making real boxing content. even though I might have disagreed, compared to what he's making now, the stuff he was making back then compared to what he's making now is night and fucking day. You understand me? And even then I had a little problem with it, only because I considered him to be a liar. You understand me? But you know, that was just me as a personal thing. But in truth, when he had serious boxing talks with people who knew about boxing, talked about the history of boxing and all that kind of stuff, he was a very, very good addition. A very good addition to what was going on back then, prior to the LDBC. The LDBC was a deliberate appeal to fucking ignorance, to ignorant nigger shit. Alright, I just want to give a shout out to the General 78 Sports TV for building a great platform. Listen, when they talk about building a great platform, what the fuck did he build? I mean, what does that even mean? Did he build YouTube? Did he build Twitter? You see, but for certain people, for a certain demographic, just being on somebody else's platform and labeling it LDBC and probably collecting some rent money from some very gullible people is building a platform. How? What? I mean, seriously. But then again, I suppose people use that term anyway. Oh, this is my platform. You know, whether you know, people do that. But building a platform, all you did was create content on another platform, and a lot of it is regurgitated bullshit that you took from other people, and then you claim that maybe you got some source somewhere. Like I said, all these people and their sources, man. Anyway, I met a couple of brothers at the Wilder fights I went to, and it's like family. You know, it's like fanboy club. That's what it is. It's amazing how we can all come together with people from all over, and it's like family. Really? You know, the truth is, right? Here's what I don't get. The LDBC has been in existence for 8 years, and I have never seen 78 Sports TV ever wear a hoodie or a t-shirt of the LDBC. But once again, let me reiterate, congratulations to the LDBC on its 8th year anniversary. I'm gonna tell you straight up, there were some people who went out there and bought a LDBC hoodie, LDBC t-shirt and stuff like that, and they will put it on video because obviously they were hoping that 78 would see it. And yet the guy, you see, here's the thing, this is where you know there's a difference about platforms and what you do and marketing and all this type of stuff. 50 Cent, alright, when he was selling his G-Unit stuff, would always rock G-Unit shit. And then he signed Mobb Deep, then he signed MOP, then he signed all these other acts and stuff like that to become part of G-Unit, this confederacy, G-Unit confederacy. You know what I'm saying? And then one day he called a meeting and he told them what was happening while they were not making progress and stuff like that, and some things had to change. And then he looked down at their feet and he said, none of you are wearing G-Unit sneakers, and yet you're getting paid from this G-Unit merchandise stuff. That's gonna stop. Now I'm guessing a lot of these guys don't get paid from, well, I don't even think LDBC merchandise exists anymore. I mean, there might be one or two. I don't think they're sold enough to cover the fucking production costs. You see, that's how bad that organization. I mean, seriously, what have you done in 8 years that you think people are so jealous of you? That you think, I mean, if your great accomplishment is the fact that you think that people talked about you for 8 years, then yeah, I suppose, fair enough. I suppose that's an accomplishment for you, but ultimately, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go through it a little bit more. It says, salute to you, General, and to what you have built, brother. The LDBC is bigger than boxing. The LDBC is bigger than boxing, in my opinion. Well, in your opinion, of course. It's a movement. If it is a movement, if it's bigger than boxing, what else does it do that makes it bigger than boxing? Apart from crying about the state of the world today, or maybe selling you porn, because if I'm not mistaken, sells a lot of sex stories, doesn't he, for you fucking incels out there, on his Patreon, giving you game about how to get bitches and shit. I do like his dog thing though, which is not even part of the LDBC, but I feel because I'm ignorant about the whole dog thing, and I think I went into that with a degree of naivete. I thought it was really about loving dogs. I didn't know it was about breeding dogs for a particular purpose. Honest to God, I really thought like it was about loving dogs. I didn't know it was about breeding dogs for a particular purpose. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? And just goes to show. I mean, I don't know about those things. So, but it was good to know. It's good to know certain things. And if I hadn't watched that shit, I probably would have been naively thinking, oh, he loves dogs and stuff like that. And then you find out, like, wait a minute, this whole thing is about something else. There is a commercial aspect to it. I should have known. Anyway, it said the GOAT of this boxing talk. And you help countless people better themselves in lives. I don't know how that works. If you need 78 Sports TV of all people, I gotta be honest, man. If you need 78 Sports TV of all people, I listen. I'm gonna give you one thing. He is charismatic, and maybe I'm not, but that's nothing to be. I get it. I'm fucking brilliant. I'm brilliant. I know I'm brilliant. I know I walk in a room and I'm gonna fucking. I am that nigga. I'm gonna have haters. I'm gonna have people who wanna know. And if that happens, that means I've done something wrong. Scandinavia makes you forget that. Makes you forget your own power sometimes. That's why people want me to move back, but that's not happening, bro. I love Scandinavia, and I'm gonna love Scandinavia forever. So that's it. It says, I'm one of them. Most of these people can't even keep it real with boxing. You keep it real. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And he's gonna be the first person who'll tell you he doesn't always keep it real, particularly when it comes to when it comes to Deontay Wilder. Happy birthday to the LDBC and salute, blah, 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 blah. Salute. You goddamn right, mighty LDBC. All right? Been rocking with you forever. Anyway, the messages are nothing special. It is what it is. Let me reiterate. Congratulations to the LDBC on its 8th year anniversary. And as he said, a lot of us can't have people talk about us for 1 month, not to talk about 8 years. But a lot of us don't even want that. A lot of us don't need the hassle. A lot of us don't feel that we need that to validate our existence in life. People talking about us on social media. A lot of people don't want people delving into our lives on social media. A lot of people don't feel that that's the only way to make money. I mean, I think it's a lazy nigga way to make money rather than go out or create something. That's why I gave you the story about Nori, but there you go. That's my critique though, and 78, I will still be watching your stuff from time to time because you're a funny motherfucker. You're a funny nigga. You are.
Alright, y'all.
This was a year ago.
Texas, man, in Dallas for the meet and greet. Check out the suite. I'm loving the hospitality here in Dallas. Loving the hospitality. This is a bedroom, bathroom.
That's not
working. The bathroom got a TV in the mirror.
That's not really
shower
working.
Back there too.
So this was a year ago. Actually, if I go onto the video itself.
All right.
I want to get the actual date itself. When was it? It says 1 year ago. August 2022. We're on the 25th of August, so it's just over a year ago. And I think they were supposed to have another anniversary. I don't know. So it's not too late. They probably will have another one, but it doesn't seem like it. The other one was publicized a lot. The one before was publicized a great deal. You know what I mean? Dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And once again, let me reiterate, congratulations to the LDBC for its 8th year anniversary. See ya.